What's up, witches? Luna here with an unboxing today, and it is a very exciting unboxing because it's a birthday present. My birthday is August 1st, Llamas baby. Ooh, ooh. Anyway, I had this appear on my porch yesterday, and it's usually my policy that when I get a gift deck, everything stops and I shoot a video, but that just wasn't possible yesterday, partly because of the air quality alert we were under that had me coughing my brains out all day. So we're doing it today. This is, I'll read you the note. Happy birthday, Luna. Thank you for sharing your gifts. I've benefited so deeply from your experience. Blessed be. And then there's a personal note from Catherine Silver Spiral Tarot. And Catherine is a regular on live streams and always contributing, and I appreciate this so much. But the biggest thing is the deck itself. This is Rachel Pollack's Shining Tribe Tarot, and it's a big, expensive deck. So just thank you so much for, that it means so much to me. Anyway, Rachel Pollack, if you do not know, passed away a little over a year ago, and I actually went onto Wikipedia this morning to really look her up and see her bio, because she's very impressive. She was a DC Comics writer, and she wrote fiction. She won an Arthur C. Clarke Award for science fiction. She wrote 72 Degrees of Wisdom about the tarot. That's how I know of her. I actually have the first book she wrote, which was on the Dolly Tarot. Back in the 80s, I went to visit my parents in Florida, and my father took me to the Dolly Museum. And the deck at the time was $50, and that was like outrageously expensive at the time. So he couldn't afford to get me that, but he bought me the book, and Rachel Pollack wrote it. So I have been very aware of her, and I love her 78 Degrees of Wisdom book. But she has so many books on the tarot, fiction, science fiction. I did not find out until she passed away that she was a trans woman, so she brought that into her writing. And I encourage you to go look her up on Wikipedia, because she really was a phenomenal person. This deck was originally published as the Shining Woman Tarot, and then it became the Shining Tribe Tarot. So let's get in. I've got my little knife, my little tiny. All right. Yay, it's going to let me in easily. Look at this massive box. Holy crap. All right, so we have this beautiful box that is matte with the shiny on it. I always love that. The contrast is so very cool. This is published by Wiser Books. I also saw that this deck was published by US Games first, and then Llewellyn, and now Wiser, which is really interesting. And of course, to find copies of the first two, you've got to spend lots of money. So, from the renowned author of 78 Degrees of Wisdom, this deck and guidebook invite readers to join the shining tribe of diviners and take the timeless, sacred journey of self-discovery. Drawing on a legacy of 50,000 years of humanity's encounters with the divine, renowned tarot scholar Rachel Pollack created the Shining Tribe Tarot. These cards are steeped in symbolism drawn from culturally diverse systems, including Neolithic rock art, Native American and African shamanism, Aboriginal art, the Kabbalah, Jungian psychology, and the traditional tarot. The Shining Tribe Tarot was previously published in 2001. This rectified Wiser Books Deluxe Edition includes color corrections to the card art as directed by Rachel Pollack, and 5 new cards not available in the previous edition. The accompanying full-color book has been revised and expanded. This deluxe package contains 83 cards and a 272-page full-color guidebook. Wow. All right, here's the huge book and the Look at the images. I like the ribbon pull. Okay, welcome to the tribe, one whose roots go back many thousands of years before the tarot even existed. We are a tribe of diviners, magicians, shamans, psychics, and visionaries who use cards or sticks or trees or stones or shells to communicate with the gods. Herein, you will encounter prehistoric images from the very origins of art. Our shining tribe takes us back to these ancestors. All right, a guide to the cards. And we go straight in with quotes, praise for the shining tribe from Mary Greer, Caitlin, and John Matthews. She wrote a book with Caitlin Matthews. Teresa Reed, author of The Cards You're Dealt. Rashunda Tramble of Stay Woke Tarot. I think this is worth it. Christopher Penzak, Inner Temple of Witchcraft. Benabel Wen, author of Holistic Tarot. Pam Grossman, author of Waking the Witch. Matt Oren, author of Psychic Witch, Mastering Magic. Melissa Sinova, author of Kitchen Table Tarot. Sasha Graham, author of Darkwood Tarot and Magic of Tarot. And Camelia Elias, PhD, Director of Studies at Aradia Academy. So many things to look up. Yes, also by Rachel Pollack, 78 Degrees of Wisdom, A Walk Through the Forest of Souls. Rachel Pollack's Tarot Wisdom, The Body of the Goddess, The Heindel Tarot, The Kabbalah Tree, Temporary Agency, A Secret Woman, DC Doom Patrol Omnibus, The Burning Serpent Oracle, Soul Forest. Just amazing. All right, the copyright here is 2024. This edition first published in 2024, so this is new. Again, thank you, Catherine. All right. So we have editor's note, preface, introduction. Then we have the cards, structure of Shining Tribe, the extra cards, majors, minors. We have the minors are trees, rivers, birds, and stones. Then and then we have vision cards. Maybe those are the extras. Anyway, readings, ways to activate a tarot card, and then appendices. So Appendix 1 is name changes, Appendix 2 is reversals, 3 is start your own Shining Tribe, and then we get a glossary. Wow, okay. Shining Tribe is a reflection of the brilliance of its creator, Rachel Pollack. In its earliest incarnation, it was published in 92 by the Aquarian Press as Shining Woman. Aquarian Press. I thought it was U.S. Games. All right. Some found the title confusing, assuming that it was a deck for women only. Rachel's deck is for everyone. Now, it's so funny because that's changed. I don't think anyone now would assume it's a woman something deck. We have evolved. At any rate, here's the preface. This book belongs to a special set of tarot cards for the card of Shining Woman. All right, let's just read the first couple paragraphs here. All right, based on tribal and prehistoric art from around the world and rooted in the wisdom and tradition of the tarot itself, the Shining Tribe Tarot grows from an earlier deck called Shining Woman. The name of that deck derived from the card of Shining Woman itself, based on the world card in the traditional tarot. The world has traditionally shown a nude dancing woman, sometimes with suggestions of a hermaphrodite. She represents the perfected spirit, the person who begins as a fool and travels through varied experiences to discover freedom in union with divine truth. For the card of Shining Woman, I drew on the sacred traditions found in many cultures all over the world of the cosmos as a single being. Some mythologies describe this figure as a goddess or god, others as a perfect human. In the Jewish Kabbalistic tradition that has so influenced the tarot, the cosmic man is called Adam Kadmon, whom the Kabbalists describe as the first created being, hermaphroditic like God, whom Genesis describes as male and female. Some people skipped that part. And perfect before the separation into man and woman, a separation that occurred so that two beings could be companions who could take each other to higher levels of fulfillment. All right. Unfortunately, some people misread the name and thought the deck applied only to women. So, a myth for Tarot's origins. so much is going to be worth reading here, and I'm not going to go very deeply into it because there is so much. Let's see here. At first glance, Shining Tribe Tarot may appear very different from the classical tarot, or even its many modern offshoots. Gone are the kings and queens with their medieval court. Instead, we find knowers and speakers with their gifts and places. While many of the traditional titles remain, we also find unexpected and mysterious characters. An empress in the form of a goddess with spirals and chevrons covering her body, an emperor with the head of a stag. Wink, Catherine. Gone are the suit emblems, the wands and cups and swords and pentacles. In their place, we find trees and rivers and birds and stones. In place of the parade of characters acting out their myriad stories, the man with the 10 sticks, the beggars outside the church, we find mysterious masked dancers, sleepers in dream temples, dark spirits rising out of canyon walls, even occasional abstract symbols. Does Shining Tribe simply break away from tarot tradition to indulge in its own private symbol systems? The answer is absolutely not. With all the changes, the Shining Tribe cards are firmly rooted in Tarot's history. You can't know as much as she knew about Tarot and just completely, disregard. They owe their structure, their inner messages, and their very existence to the wisdom and the power that have come together in the Tarot over the last 500 years. No one really knows the Tarot's origins. We do not even know the meaning of the word. So then she goes deeply into Tarot history, which, holy mackerel, does she have that history? And, she does talk about specific cards through this introduction. Again, it's very long. 5 cards, one for each suit, bear the title Dreaming. The term comes from the Australian Aborigines. I borrow it with respect due to the network of traditions reaching back as far as 50,000 years. Again, I do not attempt to use the expression in the same way as the people in Australia do. In Shining Tribe, the 5 dreamings represent images of special intensity that act as powerful gateways to the sacred. So I don't know if those are the 5 extra cards. Certain other images recur through the deck. Certain animals recur through the deck, talking about birds and snakes. Anyway, then we go straight into the cards. The structure of Shining Tribe, the extra cards. This version of the deck has extra cards painted some years after the deck's commercial publication. While these are essentially bonus prints, they can also be linked to 5 elements denoting the major arcana and the 4 suits of the minors. They're listed on the following pages in order of appearance. Okay, so the portrait of Albert, bright through nobility. Spirit, major arcana. Then we have knowledge and life, which is fire, the suit of trees. How interesting that fire is trees. Then we have the Sphinx in Eden, which is water. We have Saint Teresa, air, the suit of birds. And then Tiamat, earth, suit of stones. Then we go into the majors. An overview, the 3 layers of the major arcana. I highly recommend 78 Degrees of Wisdom. She talks about laying out the majors in 3 rows of 7 with the Fool aside, and how the cards line up in that way, and how each of the sets of 7 describe phases of life. Okay. Then we start in with the cards. So we have an image of the card, and I do think this is helpful. I'm kind of glad it's not a full page image because that cuts down on the amount of paper used, but I do appreciate a full color image in the book because that means I can take the book someplace with me and read the book and be able to reference the cards without having the deck with me. But there's a little verse. She walks through the mountains, she flies through the circle, she hears the birds singing, she plays tricks on her brother, and then there is a big explanation. Then we have divinatory meaning and we have reversed. She does not have numbers on the cards. I mean, I'm going to know where to find them, and we don't list the cards individually. So that's a bit of a problem in ease of use. And then we come into the minors. Trees are fire, traditional suit 1, so I can relate that. Rivers are water, birds are air, and stones are earth. And then she does break down the numbers. So the aces are prime quality of the suit, the 2s duality and resolution, 3s strong expression of the element, 4s structure, 5s loss, sorrow, healing, 6s passion, exploration, 7s daring, communication, 8s movement, change, 9s confronting troubles, 10s fullness and completion. Then she talks about each one individually. Same thing, we get a little verse, three lines this time instead of 4. And then full description, divinatory, reversed. So the descriptions do they talk about? Yes, she does somewhere in the description talk about the image itself. So there's the trees. Here are the rivers. Here are the birds. And here are the stones. Let's mention the colors of the pages on the edges. So that, talk about ease of use, eh? So we have green there, and when we come to the end, place of trees, no, okay, then this little kind of purple at the end is the quartz. And the quartz go place. So these are called the vision cards. And then, let's see here. Like the numbered cards of the minor arcana, the vision cards vary from suit to suit depending on the quality of the element belonging to that suit. There is, however, a difference from the numbered cards. Ace through 10 of the 4 suits join together to show us the variety of human experience. The vision cards follow a more definite progression, linking the cards more sharply to each other, a little like the major arcana, with its step-by-step journey from the Fool to the World Shining Woman. The vision cards also teach us more directly about the elements than the numbers, for their name is understanding and using the power each element can give to us. The 4 cards follow a pattern of withdrawal and return, one that resembles Joseph Campbell's monomyth of the hero's journey. We can interpret them for their separate meanings, but we can also follow them through such techniques as meditation or guided visualization to gain the wisdom and gifts of the elements. This is an area of tarot work that does not get as much attention as it deserves. The way we can use the images on the cards to bring out qualities in ourselves and change the way we move through life. So in the myth created by the vision cards, we first enter the place of the particular suit. Card takes the qualities of that suit, shows them as a location. This is one of the knower then gives us a feeling for what it would mean to understand and experience those qualities in ourselves. The hero who has the courage to leave our world receives a gift. The gift card depicts this moment in the story. And then in stories, the hero returns with his gift from the spirits and uses his power. In our daily lives, we often find that our achievements only become real to us when we share them with others. The speakers give us images of acting from a place of power within ourselves. Okay, so there we go. We get another little verse, same thing, description, divinatory and reversed. And then we go to readings, spreads, 3-card individual spreads. She gives examples, a leap across the abyss, dream readings, soul readings, ways to activate a tarot card. I'll leave that for you to discover. I'm curious as if she does the same thing as like activating a Lenormand card. Sorry, it's getting very dark. I think it's about to rain, so I turn my lights up. Then we have appendices, the name changes, the reversals, and then you get start your own shining tribe. And so we get pages to take notes, and then we get a glossary, and it's wonderful. And here she is. Bless you. Your name is for a blessing, Rachel. Let's get to the cards. All right. So the backs are like an hourglass. You can see they are non-directional, and oh dearie. You see the way they're rocking? This deck is warped. It's a big chunker. This is why I kind of wish US Games had taken it on, or that it had stayed with Llewellyn, or Strange Journey. But yeah, it's a warped deck. I don't like that at all. And it's, yeah, I don't think it's going to be very easy to shuffle. Such a bummer. All right. So here's the Fool. And you can see, and there are numbers on the cards. Thunder. There are numbers on the cards, and they are Arabic numerals, not Roman numerals, for the majors. So you see she's like flying. She's like taking this dive, and you wonder, you know, is she following the bird, or does she transform into the bird? Look at these little like trails, mountains in the distance, mountains up close, spirals. This looks like a stone circle. Very interesting. I'm getting impressions of, you know, our like a karmic path through different cultures, different places. And man, I'm going to want to take these. The cards are like a satin finish. You can see they're not glossy. Individually, they don't feel too stiff, but I think collectively they're not going to shuffle easily. We'll find out. Here's the Magician. Very primitive art. And, you know, she admits she's a non-artist, which, you know, props for going through that journey to use your skills however you're able to use them. And there, you know, there is an aesthetic quality to them. They don't look, it doesn't look like bad art, let's put it that way. There's a lot to key into. We do see a wand. We do see, I'm not sure what that is. It kind of looks like lightning or a tree. That's a tree. But that's a wand. There's a cup. There's a, yeah. Sort of hard to tell. Here's the High Priestess. Look at the spiral coming up out of this fish, spiraling into a bird-like creature. We do get the columns. So there are little hints of what we're used to. Here's the Empress. Again, that duality, the two trees, the two planets, the two mountains with the star in the middle. I hope you can hear that. Here's the Emperor. Wow. You know, you could get a little confused between the Emperor and the Devil. Thank God there's a name and a number on it. The black squares. Here comes the rain. Hello. Hierophant is named Tradition. What an interesting image. There's like, these are like separate mounds, almost look like termite mounds. And this sort of spiral with a tree, water, mountain, sun. You know, it's going to be fascinating to see what the mind of someone with such a depth of knowledge of tarot brings to her very own deck. Here's the Lovers. And I love that they are no identifiable gender. Here's the Chariot. Oh, interesting. It almost looks like they're standing at a podium. Oh, the sound of rain is so wonderful. I hope it doesn't put me to sleep. Here's the Strength card. No person in this image, just an animal, and it looks like a horse. Then we have the Hermit. There's some recognizable things. I kind of like that it looks like a doorway here. Sun and moon, turtle. There's a lamp here. The spiral of fortune. Ooh, that is a really cool change to the Wheel of Fortune, because the Wheel of Fortune shows a flat wheel. You know, you go down one side and up the other. You go down one side and up the other. But a spiral implies that you are, you know, there's a change each time. You're getting closer to the center, or maybe the spiral is moving up. Justice. Look at all the masks around. The Hanged Woman. Look, we've got like a Willendorf Venus. We've got buildings. We've got kind of an angelic figure, a sun and moon again, a ship. Is that a... I don't know what that is. Almost looks like it's a ship going down, but I can't tell. Here's death. Wow. And temperance. That's familiar. The devil. Look at the broken things here. Broken and fragmented, and this kind of looks like a sword, long sword going up. Very interesting images. There's definitely a trance quality to them. Here's the tower. Wow. Some recognizable little symbols there. The star. The moon with a big spider. And looking like a bow and arrow. Fascinating. Here's the sun. Oh, there's so much. Awakening is the judgment card. As many decks have called it Awakening. What was the one I just used this past week? Anyhow. Oh, Tarot of the Abyss. And the World Shining Woman. And now we're into the minors. Here's the Ace of Trees. The 2. It says, pleased is the mother who has given us shape. Wow. The 3 of Trees. Kind of like scarecrows, you know? Here's the 4. We see that structure. The 5. Rockabye baby is what I get there. Here's the 6. I mean, they're very abstract, but there is certainly a lexicon of symbols to learn. Here's the 7 of Trees. Look at this spinal column. Wow. The 8, look at the burning building. The 9, she looks as if she's praying to this tree. We've got the double axe and a pyramid in the background. Here's the 10. Look at the people sprouting. Okay, here's the Place of Trees. We have very Minoan references there. The Knower of Trees. The Gift. And the Speaker. Here's the Ace of Rivers. The 2. Very Pisces. 3. Definitely looking like the 3 of Cups, but we don't get the, you know, celebration. So it's low on figures, high on symbols. There's the 4, the 5, the 6. And, you know, I'm sitting here and part of my mind is going, you know, I wish they were more recognizable and all this stuff. And then the other part of me, the greater part, is going, I cannot wait to learn this symbol set because of who it comes from. Here's the 7 of rivers, the 8 of rivers, the 9. Look at the broken cups. Wow, with this one shining one in the middle. And then the 10. That gives us some familiarity. I love the layers. Then we've got the place of rivers, little dolmen in the background, the knower, the gift, and the speaker. That looks like it says something, but it doesn't. That does. All right, hold on. Where did I put it? There it is. Let's see. It looks like it says something. I told something blank of the way I told. All right, hold on a second. Where are we at? This is a speaker of rivers. Okay. Dedicated to Jack McGuire. And on the way I told a tale of such power. Oh, okay, it does say, and on the way I told a tale of such power. Wow, okay, cool. Thank you for describing everything that's in your images. Here's the Ace of Birds. The 2 of Birds. Very interesting. The 3. So these are swords, remember? You definitely see the 3 of Swords there. The 4. The 5. Ooh. Very interesting. The 6. Fascinating because recently, like in the last year or so, a couple of years, I started really seeing the 5 of Swords as bullying. You know, we hear abuse of power and everything. It's bullying, and it's being a sore winner. You know, I got all your swords. And this, you kind of do get that idea of someone down here being overpowered by this gang, you know. Here's the 6 of Birds. There's a dreaming card. So they're not called to dream. All right, anyway, they're not in the suits, those extra cards. All right, here's the 7 of Birds. The 8. And I'm not really describing these because there's so much. I would be, you know, doing an hour-long video on one card. Here's the 8, the 9, the 10. There's the place of birds, the knower, the gift, and the speaker. Ooh. Ace of stones, the 2, the 3, 4, the 5, 6, rolling the dice, the 7, 8. Wow. You know, I'm having to struggle to call to mind the traditional Waite Smith as I'm looking at these, so I'm going to stop trying. Here's the 9, the 10, the footprints there, place of stones, the knower of stones, the gift. And you can see these are stones. These are plans of dwellings. The speaker. And now we have the extras. The portrait of Albert, which says, bright through nobility. Okay, so she did write on there what, God, it's so hard for me to see. Life hidden inside knowledge. Knowledge and life. The Sphinx in Eden. Saint Teresa. And Tiamat. So, I apologize for my voice being down in the basement today. But we have terrible air quality because of the wildfires in California, so prayers. California, I think there's some in Oregon too, in Canada, and all over the place. But apparently I am one of the sensitive ones because it's just creating havoc. Let's give this deck a blessing. A big... Really? Good grief. Let's give this a big blessing, the deck, and to wonderful, amazing Rachel for everything she has contributed to this art. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. By water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. I think I might want to edge this deck in yellow because it is just so bright and beautiful. And by the sound of the bell, fair warning, may the spirit within you awaken. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, and Rachel, Madam, a true ancestor of tarot readers everywhere. We welcome you here. We honor you. I ask my guides to help me bring forward a reading for Catherine because this is a gift. Catherine gets a reading, a personal reading from this deck today. All right, here we go. I can hold the whole deck. It is chunky, but I can hold it now. Yeah, it's stiff. You gotta kind of get, oof. And because of its warping, you can't, you know, the warping, just that small amount, makes it hard to bend the cards because it's pulling in a different way. So let's try that again. It's actually not too bad. Ooh, okay, well, let's try that again. You know what? I'm going to split it and do it this way a couple of times just to get it loosened up a bit. And, oh my God, my joints aren't working well today. I don't know if you could see that. My gamekeeper's thumb's doing weird things. Oh my God. Yeah, do you see my thumbs? This is Ehlers-Danlos double jointedness. Joints don't do exactly what they're supposed to do. All right, I do feel that it's going to really loosen up well over time, but it's going to take a while to get that warping out, you know? And the warping itself is going to make a deck that doesn't really stack nicely. You know what? We'll get over it. But let's mention that when you're selling a deck for $50, it should be perfect. But you can see that it does shuffle quite easily, so that's okay. That's okay if you can get it started. Come on now. All right, let's just cut shuffle now. So let's focus in on Catherine, my dear Catherine. Let's put a little bit more Fire of Azrael for, along with the fresh water that we offer. Can't remember if I mentioned that or not. All right, so for Catherine. And they're telling me a 10 card. But I'm not sure I'm going to do that. All right, we'll see how it goes. Let's just do the 6 the way I normally do. All right, you hear that deck? We're doing 6. What does Catherine need to know today? Oh, did you see that? Those kind of popped off the top, and then I bent them. So it's difficult. The cardstock is difficult. Hey, wiser books, get wiser about your cardstock, actual cardstock. Yeah, it's like the cards that I have at the end just want to do this and bend. So, all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How very interesting. And they came face up. All right, I'm going to do it this way and see what happens. We get the 7 of Trees, we get Tiamat, 3 of Rivers, the Sphinx in Eden. So we get 2 of those extra cards, the Hanged Woman and the Ace of Birds. All right, the only thing we didn't get was a Court, but that's okay. All right, let's go. I'm not even going to, well, let's try intuitively here. So we have 7 of Trees. Those are wands. And I see, again, there's this, sacrum, that's what it's called, that bone at the bottom, and then we're coming up the spinal column right in the center here. That's giving me like solar plexus with things branching off from the sides. So there's an idea of structure, of growth, of raising the energy, kind of like the Kundalini energy. All right, let's read. Okay, there's another title for each card. So the 7 of Trees is In Country Dreaming. So here's a dreaming card. All right. Now I wonder if the same card of each suit is a dreaming card. Oh, not all of the cards have. Okay, Mud Body Dreaming, the 5 of Birds. So not only the dreaming cards have a subtitle in the minors. Dedicated to Milton Teichman and Sharon Lader. Shine with the morning, sing louder than light, open your heart to the sun. With this image, we go inward to find the tree of life in our own bodies. The picture shows us the spinal column with branches growing like the body's nervous system. Around the sides, we see symbols of the sacred in nature and art. In the upper left, the temple, see Gift of Stones, resembles a human body. Oh yeah, I was saying those are dwellings. Very reminiscent of one of the ancient goddess statues. Below left, we find the hemispheres of the brain, represented as concentric arcs. These are shown as slightly separated for the different functions of the right and left brains that nevertheless work together. On the right, the triangles symbolize the origins of life. Below, the snail on the water reminds us that our strongest symbols come from nature, so that's a snail. Kind of hard to tell. The spiral is one of our most powerful symbols, a picture of the way life changes and develops through many turns rather than in straight lines. The spiral is not... Where is the spiral? Okay. Okay. The spiral is not an intellectual construction, but something found throughout nature, from snails to microscopic life forms to spiral galaxies. When we see these varied images alongside the spine, we recognize that we find the sacred in the union of ourselves and the greater world, as without, so within. The spine and the nervous system enable us to exist, to move. The spine also contains hidden truths. From yoga, we learn that sacred energy resides at the base of the spine. Through spiritual discipline of many cultures, Joseph Campbell has shown how Navajo sand paintings match the teachings of yoga. This energy, sexual in origin, moves up the spine and opens out the top of the head, that is, through the brain. The in-country of our bodies. So in-country. The in-country of our bodies opens to the great country of the cosmos as we discover that the two are the same, there's no separation. So in-country is within. The heart marks a kind of border between the sensory, emotional levels of experience and the spiritual truths of the final openings. The spiritual truths of the final openings. Okay. According to Campbell, only the deepest Navajo initiates follow the dance beyond the place in the sand painting that signifies the heart. The other dancers exit back the way they've come. In Kundalini Yoga, people learn to raise the Kundalini energy from the base of the spine to the heart and then let it sink down again until the person has reached the spiritual level to allow the heart chakra to open and the Kundalini to rise to the higher chakras. So this is symbolizing the heart, not the solar plexus. And it is the gateway, the middle one of all the 7 chakras. In Kabbalah, we learn of the invisible abyss which separates the higher and lower Sephiroth and the tree of life. The heart is not just a border, but an active energy which looks both ways. The heart is the seat of love, and it is love which connects the sensory and the spiritual, and so we find on the spinal tree a radiant sun at the place of the heart. There is no head in the picture. The openness of the card takes us beyond the separateness of ego. To truly open the heart, we release all guilt and fear, all secrets and selfishness. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, we learn that the dead person comes to the heavenly court to see if they can pass through to new life. To judge a person, the goddess Mat weighs the heart against an ostrich feather. If the heart carries any weight of guilt, the person will not continue. Divinatory meanings: inner truth, personal power, self-discovery, love, revelation. Reversed is expressing inner truth to others, taking action from a basis of personal power, emotional openness, and a sign that the person is free of guilt. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing of the rest of the cards. So what we see here is something arising. Personal power arising, that there's a structure here of your story. I'm getting a lot of your story of empowerment, your story of your deepest foundations through, emotions, through your empowerment, through reaching out and being compassionate to the rest of humanity. This great story of rising. Oh my God, you guys, so many pauses to cough, to clear my throat, to rub my eyes. The ragweed is also horrendous right now, so I'm having a time. Anyway, so yeah, I would say the core here is about your core and your structure, the structure that everything in your life hangs on, physically and spiritually, and talking about sort of the condition of that core and what you're here to express through that structure, through that core. All right, then let's go to Tiamat. This is going to be fascinating. Where'd they go? Okay. Oh, they're in the front. I remember now. All right, Tiamat, Earth, suit of stones. In Sumerian myth, the primordial goddess Tiamat was broken up by her distant descendant, the hero Marduk. The goddess was broken up. Some see this story as symbolic of the destruction of the prehistoric goddess culture by the late emergence of masculine rule and kingship, some 5,000 years ago, compared to as much as 50,000 years of the old ways. However, it suggests the very deep perception that all the many pieces and fragments of our complicated world are really all one being, and all of them alive. To quote a song from Gabon, all lives, all dances, and all is loud. All lives, all dances, and all is loud. This card symbolizes a powerful sense of the connectedness of our lives. So connectedness, And then the Three of Rivers. Dedicated to Mary K. Greer. Not every card is dedicated to somebody, but we're sure zooming in on them here. Together, together, three into one, we discover a brightness once hidden in dreams. Love is the blood, our bodies dissolve pain and desire in the moon's soft, dark streams. Three into one. Love is the blood, our bodies dissolve pain and desire in the moon's soft, dark streams. So you definitely get this idea of merging, of boundaries dissolving, of coming together. It kind of looks like bloodlines as well. For some reason, this is reminding me of Newgrange. This card specifically explores the spiritual meaning of an essential female experience, menstruation. There we go. Its meanings, however, reach beyond that specific subject to the idea of deep harmony between people, men as well as women. The card carries special meaning for spiritual work that people do together, in particular ritual. She's written a book about ritual. The mysteries of creation are mirrored in the mysteries of the female body. Not only do women bring forth new life, males as well as females, but non-pregnant women bleed without being hurt, without dying. And this bleeding matches the changing phases of the moon. Okay, she goes on. Divinatory meanings are harmony, friendship, love, both romantic and spiritual, people who in some way join their lifeblood, very deep bonds between people, recognition of mystery in ordinary experience. Reversed is isolation. Possibilities include both disharmony and independence. Surrounding cards will give the emphasis. People who have trouble working together. Okay, so the upright is people who are so together that they blend together, and could be blending together in a bloodline, the creation of a bloodline. So this could talk about hand fasting. This could talk about, obviously, pregnancy and joining of literal bloodlines. But union, and I have to go back to Tiamat. I'm glad I kept my finger in that spot. So reading this paragraph again, she starts off talking about sort of the dismantling of the goddess as the supreme deity, but ultimately it's everything comes back together, that we are all in fact part of one thing. So it kind of flies in the face of that dismantling of Tiamat. Tiamat becomes a symbol of the unity of all levels, all layers, and this is certainly talking about unity as well. But look at this spinal column, talking about everything, the structure that everything comes together around, the structure that holds it all up. So we're definitely getting a vibe of unification here, of integrity, of like maybe disparate parts of your life that are now coming together, coalescing, feeling really unified into one thing. There's a better word, don't know what it is yet, but we'll find it. Then we have the Sphinx in the garden. So this is water, the suit of rivers, another one of those special 5 cards. Ruled, quote, in a sense by the high priestess, the element of water symbolizes the mysteries of existence, a state in which we sense great truths but cannot put them into words. The Sphinx traditionally is said to pose riddles and exact a terrible price from those who cannot answer. But if we could return to the pure state of Eden, the Sphinx would be seen to sit silently in peace. Thus, this picture symbolizes our ability to accept the unanswerable riddles of life. So while Tiamat shows here everything kind of coming together, from the dismantling, things coming back together again, putting pieces together, the Sphinx card here talks about the questions that just cannot be answered. So here's the mystery of the Sphinx. And then we have the Hanged Woman. So both of these are talking about having to wait for answers. There's something here that you don't know. There's a great mystery that you're trying to kind of part to peek into. But This is saying either take a different perspective of it, or well, the first meaning that came through to me was you're just going to have to wait. Some things you cannot know. And it's also a bit of a vibe of going through an initiation, going through one of those times where suddenly your perspective radically changes and you get those answers. You have that, I get it now. So I think that's where we're going with this, because here we have all these things of things coming together, bonding, a structure that everything else branches off of, unity, blending, and all of this coming together suddenly provides you with that that mystery that totally changes your perspective. All right, let's go to the Hanged Woman. All right. She plays with the angels. She climbs the tall branches. She rests on the water. She listens for laughter. The earliest tarot decks bear very little resemblance to the classic Tarot of Marseille. At the other end of the tarot's evolution, many modern decks have changed virtually all the images, and yet Trump 12, the Hanged Man, instantly stands out from every deck. Give a deck to a friend who does not know the cards, and as this friend looks through them, they very likely will turn around the Hangman card under the assumption that it's upside down. To the outside world, a person with sacred values may seem upside down, backward, the wrong way around. Their behavior and concerns are different than those of society. Worse, the person simply may not care what others think about those concerns. So this says that your different perspective on things gives you access to the mysteries. So it talks about you having this different spiritual perspective already, and so you have access to the mysteries in your reading. So this can be what makes you a reader. All right. Though I've changed the figure to a woman and added details, this central image remains. The Hanged Woman is so compelling because she shows us the Tarot's great secret, that we achieve genuine independence when we attach ourselves to the rhythms of the universe. In the number 12, we find the reversed 21, and if we turn the Hanged Woman around, we will see her strong resemblance to the world, Shining Woman. She hangs from the tree of life, its roots in the formless sea, remember the chariot, its branches in the heavenly stars. Her red body symbolizes vitality, while her golden hair signifies revelation. Just wonderful descriptions of the images. Surrender is not solemn or grim, it is playful, joyous. We see a kind of children's version of the card, with the sun and moon as toys hanging from the tree, a miniature Noah's Ark flying a lunar flag, an angel reading a letter or a book, or even a city, for the tree of life contains many regions and experiences. All right. Divinatory meanings, attachment to what truly matters, interesting. Inner peace, yes, inner peace certainly, because you look at this person, hanging upside down, but the total acceptance of this is the way things are at the moment. Independence from public opinion or pressure from others, especially when joined with the Fool, confidence in your own values, reversal of previous ideas, sometimes a need to sacrifice or give something up. So if I take those meanings, it says that yes, you are someone who has gone against the grain, but that's because you do understand what truly matters and you're at peace with that. You don't cave into pressure, and that being able to surrender yourself to spirit in that way gives you, again, access to those mysteries. Then we have the Ace of Birds. This is absolutely not a really practical reading, although I'll see what I can do on that level as well. Ace of Birds, mouths open in darkness, the silence of wings, the voice of the night, dark eyes on the hunt. Talking about the wise owl, but the link between owls and wisdom goes deeper. Archaeologists such as Maria Gimbutas have traced the image of the owl goddess back thousands of years. Babylonian Lilith, Athena Minerva, how the owl gets its reputation for wisdom. When I asked the cards, what is the soul? The card that came up as if the Algonquins had chosen it was the Ace of Birds. So clearly she must mention the Algonquins here. Oh, yes. According to Joan and Romas Vastoka, students of the Algonquin religion, they considered the owl the perfect soul bird. Okay. The solar point marked by this card is the autumnal equinox. Oh, interesting. So the aces are the solar points. Divinatory meaning truth, wisdom, sadness. Sadness, honesty. Looking into the mysteries of life and death, intellectual rigor encouraged the soul in its search for meaning, reversed as anxiety, confused thinking, a need for honesty, both emotional and intellectual. So truth and wisdom, looking into the mysteries of life and death. I mean, this really hangs together because we talk about this structure, and I'm actually getting a vibe, of your physical spine, and maybe some things going on where you've had some limitations physically that are causing you to dive more deeply into the spiritual side of things. I'm definitely getting a vibe of research into bloodlines and ancestry to give you more of a solid idea of your own identity. But certainly going through a phase here where it's not an active phase, where you're having to wait for something to happen because you don't know the answers. But then the Ace of Birds says, I am keenly aware, my eyes are open, I'm watching. I'm watching and waiting for the truth, to learn the truth, whether it's the truth of bloodlines, whether it's spiritual truth, whether it's the truth about a health condition. This is fascinating. I'm going to lay some cards out here until I get to a court because I want to see how those read. We have the Nine of Rivers. We have Saint Teresa, another one of those cards. Eight of Stones, Ace of Stones. This is awkward. I'm going over here. Gift. Oh, there we go. The Gift of Stones. So here's one of the courts. Because they're warped, they don't want to sit still on a stack. Oy, okay. And it's so weird because cards that are warpable like that, you would think it would be easy to warp them back the other way. It's not. They're stubborn as hell. All right, Gift of Stones. All right, it's going to take me a while to remember that the courts come after. All right, so Mother Dreaming. Let me see here. Mother Dream. Okay, so the Dreaming card in the Stone suit is one of the vision cards, one of the courts. Dedicated to Eva M. They give us our faces, they whisper between them the ancient secret that our teeth are mountains, our fingers forests, our eyes are the oceans of life. Now, there's a lot here. You see this? That's one card. Yo. The two temples in the center of this card derive from the oldest freestanding building in the world, the double temple of the prehistoric goddess on the Maltese island of Gozo. Oh, I have never heard of this. Known today as Gigantia, Gantija, a Maltese word that means female giant. The temples take the form of an abstract woman either sitting or lying on her back. The temple form strongly resembles less abstract statues of a goddess from the same culture, so that the intent to shape the temples as a body seems clear. The pictorial view here we see is actually from above, the outline of the walls. All right. On the ground, a visitor or worshiper will not get that overall bird's eye view. All right, so talking about people traveling to there. Across on the right, two shining vision glyphs signify myself and Eva. Okay, so she really goes into detail. The smaller temple, the daughter, was built when the style of architecture did away with the back chamber, which formed the head of the mother temple. Great cultural, historical, archaeological information. Okay, I want to read this. Above these objects, we find a stone arch open to the water. In a cave within this natural moon shape, the arch is actually the mouth of a cave, found on the island's north shore. A cleft opens in the rock. A cleft symbolizes the goddess as creator, for it suggests the vulva. On the day I came to this place, I brought a torso-shaped stone I had found near the site of an unexcavated temple. The stone was not part of the site itself. I'm glad she says that. After I placed it in the cleft as my own gift to the earth, I sensed that if I reached down into the water with my foot, I would find something in return. When I did, my toes curled around the goddess-like stone shown below the temple of the daughter. Oh my goodness. This single stone and the wisdom found in natural stones and human-made temples throughout the world and the journeys we make to such places are the gift of stones. I want to see something else here. Yeah, the images in the book are the same size pretty much as the images in the card, so you don't get like a bigger, slightly larger. But look at that, if you can see that, like a vulva stone. What a wonderful, wonderful story. So the divinatory meanings: intimate sharing, links between parents and children. There's that ancestry stuff again. Or between friends, finding deep meaning in your own experience. Pilgrimages or sacred journeys. Harvest, abundance, the gifts of the earth. So I would say that all of this can talk about, you know, this whole thing, going on a pilgrimage to sort of find the peripheral image or the peripheral information about your life, the broader cultural context of your particular heritage, the ancestral lines that are indicated here. But also on a spiritual level, really branching out into the mystery, branching out maybe into doing more deep trance work, ritual work, in order to access the mystery, in order to, you know, the Hanged Woman definitely has that strong vibe of ritual to it, because there are traditions in witchcraft that actually part of the initiation ceremony had the person hanging upside down in order to just turn their entire world upside down to give them access into the mysteries. But the Gift of Stones talks about that, going and following those lines, going into the ancient, stories of your lines, and the Ace of Birds here talking about finding the truth. So this is almost an hour and 15 minutes. I can't believe it's that long, but I don't care. Catherine, I am so grateful to you. This is definitely a huge, huge contribution to my collection, and this deck is really something special. Really something special. Although I have to say, if I had gotten this deck even a couple of years ago, I might have found myself frustrated with it, that it wasn't closer to the things that were familiar to me. But doing the live streams and letting dice pick the decks and just constantly pulling decks that I'm not really familiar with has so developed my ability to go intuitively on the images in front of me that this deck right now is landing at the perfect time. And also reading Yoav Ben-Dov's book has also helped that process. But what a great thing. If you want a reading from me, you can buy me a birthday deck. There's a list, Amazon wish list down below. My birthday is this Thursday, August 1st. So have at it. And I thank you in advance. And thank you to all you viewers who hung out for this long to watch a very lengthy video. Please let me know what you think down below. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want to hang out with us more often. And I will see you next time. Till then, this is Luna. Blessed be.